So now we will see object prototype in JavaScript. So guys, basically all objects in JavaScript have a prototype, and prototype is nothing but it is another object. So guys, basically whatever object you write, whether it is a custom object or the built-in object in JavaScript, it is having a prototype which is another object. So basically the prototype is another object that the original object inherits from, and this we are going to check with the help of examples as well. So guys, on top of the custom object that we are going to write, there is a prototype which is kind of a parent of the custom object that we have written. So guys, first of all, let us see how we can get the prototype of a specific object over here that we have defined. So let us move to the VS Code over here. So simply inside the tutorial folder, we will create a new file in this case. So we have prototype.js file over here. Now guys, simply let us create a date object in this case and store it inside a date variable. So we have the new operator followed by the date object in this case. So guys, basically we are getting the current system time and date over here and storing it inside the date variable in this case. So simply we can use this particular date followed by dot and any of the methods that are present over here. So let us say we want to get the today's date in this case. So simply we use the method that is get date followed by the open and close parenthesis. Let me just save this file now and try running this code using the node command over here followed by the name of the JavaScript file. So as you can see, today's date, it is 29th over here. Now guys, let us say we want to get the prototype of this particular variable. So what we have to do is simply we need to use the object followed by dot, and then we have something called as get prototype of. As you can see, it returns the prototype of an object over here. So simply we provide the open and close parenthesis inside which we need to provide the object that references the prototype. So basically let us say we provide this particular date in this case. Let me just save this file now and try running this code once again over here on the terminal. So as you can see, we are getting an empty object over here. Apart from this, what if we provide this particular date object? So previously we have provided the variable that is date over here, but now we are directly providing the date object. Let us see what will be the prototype for this particular date object over here. So once again, it is a blank object over here. Now guys, what we will do is simply we will roll back to the date variable over here, and then let me just copy paste these lines of code and let us check what will be the output on the web browser. So currently we are running this code in the node environment, but let us run this code on the browser over here. So let us go to the web browser over here and simply we are going to copy these lines of code, in which case we are trying to get the prototype of this particular date object. When we press enter, as you can see, we are getting some object over here which is the prototype of this particular date object. So you can see all the methods and the properties that are present inside this particular prototype object, and in return if you see, there is another object which is the prototype of this entire object which is returned. So guys, all the objects have their own prototypes, which is nothing but another object in this case. So in this way you can simply find the prototype of a specific object by providing it as a parameter to this get prototype of method over here. Now guys, let us understand what is the usage of this prototype. So basically we can define the properties and methods using the prototype of the object. So let us understand this as well with the help of examples over here. So what we will do is, let us say we want to create the object constructor. So the first object, it is equal to person over here, and simply we are going to provide the first name and last name of the person. So over here we will provide the parameters as first name and last name, and then over here for the properties of the object as well, we will provide the first name property which needs to be declared by using the this keyword over here followed by equal to, and then we provide the parameter value that is first name. Similarly, we will provide the last name property as well. So over here we will provide the last name property, and the value should be equal to last name parameter that is coming to this particular object constructor. Now guys, what we will do is, let us create an object out of this particular function constructor. So simply we will provide the person1 as the object name followed by equal to operator, and then we have to use the person object in order to initialize this particular person1 variable. So simply we will have to provide the first name and last name. So in this case we provide John Doe as the first name and last name over here, and then let us say we want to print represent one of the properties. So in this case, we use the person1 object name over here, followed by dot, and then we have either first name or last name. So let us say we want to print the first name of this particular object. So let me just save this file now and try running this code once again over here on the terminal. So as you can see, we have got John as the first name of this particular person1 object. Now guys, apart from this, let us say we want to create another object in this case. So simply I'm going to copy paste this line of code over here, in which case we are going to provide person2 as the object name, and this time we have updated the first name and the last name. Now guys, let us say we want to add a method inside this particular object constructor. So one option is to add the method inside this particular function person by using the this keyword followed by the name of the function and then equal to operator followed by the function keyword. But guys, another way is to use the prototype of this particular person object constructor. So how do we do that? So simply we have to use the person function over here followed by dot, and then we have something called as prototype over here. As you can see, this is the property that we are going to use in order to define the method inside this particular person function. So simply, as you can see, this is the property that we are going to use in order to add a separate method inside this particular object constructor. So guys, over here we provide prototype followed by dot, and then simply we will provide the name of the function, that is display over here. It is equal to, we need to provide the function keyword followed by open and close parenthesis, and in the normal way how we define the function, we are going to define the same function over here. So guys, what exactly we are trying to do in this case? Basically we are defining a display method that will be added to this particular person object constructor. Now guys, simply we can return the combination of the first name and last name over here. So inside the string literal, we will say full name is followed by, first of all we will say first name in this case, and then followed by last name over here. So guys, as you can see, automatically we have the this keyword which will be used based on the person object that will be used in order to call this particular display function. So the first option was to add this particular display method inside the object constructor, and the second way is to add this particular function using the prototype property over here for that particular object constructor. Now guys, simply the person1 and person2 will have access to this particular display method as well. So let us try that. So we will provide console.log statement followed by person1 and then dot. As you can see, we have the display method, and then followed by open and close parenthesis, which should return us the full name is followed by the first name and the last name values for that particular person that was used in order to initialize that particular object. So let me just save this file now and try running this code once again over here on the terminal. So as you can see, full name is John Doe, and then once again let me just call this display function with the person2 object this time, and when we run this code once again over here, as you can see, full name is Smith Peter. This is the full name of the second person that is getting displayed over here. So guys, in this way simply you can add the method, and also you can add the properties similarly to any of the object constructors by using the prototype, and that particular property or the method will be accessible by all the objects that are created so far by using that particular object constructor. Now guys, apart from this, there is something called as prototypal inheritance. So let us understand this with the help of example in VS Code over here. Simply by using the setPrototypeOf method, we can set the prototype of any of the specific objects. So let us understand this. So let me just clear these lines of code over here. We will only keep the function that is person in this case. Now guys, what we will do is, let us say we use this particular person object followed by dot, and then we have the prototype. We want to add a method over here. So let's say we provide full name as the method in this case. It is equal to function this time, and then inside the body of the function simply we are going to return the full name over here. So we will say first name and last name in this case. So as you can see, we have the return keyword followed by first name, last name is the full name over here. Now guys, apart from this, let us create another object constructor. So this time we will use the function keyword followed by the player as the object constructor over here. And what this will do is, let us say we want to provide a full name in this case along with the age parameter as well. So again we will provide the properties that is full name and age over here, and inside the player object constructor we will provide the full name property. It is equal to full name value over here. Apart from this, we will also provide the age property in this case, which will be equal to the parameter that is age over here. Now guys, apart from this, similarly we will add the function to the player object constructor by using the prototype in this case. So let us provide the player object this time, followed by dot, and then we have the prototype property followed by dot, and this time we will say player display over here. So simply we say player display, it is equal to function it is, and inside this function again we are going to return the first name, last name and the age of the player. So guys, in this case, instead of having the full name, we will divide it into first name, last name and the age in this case. So over here we have the first name instead of full name over here. So we are passing the first name and the last name separately instead of full name, and then again we are going to have the last name property in this case, which will be equal to the last name value over here. We should be removing this keyword from the right hand side. So as you can see, we are having the common properties, that is first name and last name over here inside the person and the player object constructors, whereas there is a separate property that is age inside the player. So guys, simply we are going to return the full name in this case. So over here we will say first name and then followed by last name over here, and then followed by displaying of the age in this case. So as you can see, we are displaying all the properties over here. Now guys, if you notice, the full name is present over here for the person object constructor and not for the player object constructor over here. For player we have the player display. So what if we try to create the object for the player object constructor over here and then try to access the full name? So let us check that as well. So simply we will have player1, it is equal to new player, and this time we will provide the first name and last name as John Doe, and then let us say the age is 22 over here. Now if you notice, for player 1, what are the available methods over here? So simply we will provide player 1 followed by dot, and then as you can see we have the player display in this case followed by open and close parenthesis. If we try to run this code over here, let us see what will be the output. So let me just run the node command over here followed by the name of the JavaScript file. So as you can see, we are getting John Doe as the name of the player along with the age, that is 22 years. Now guys, what if we try to access the other method which is present for the person object constructor but not for the player object constructor? So over here we will simply provide the full name method in this case followed by open and close parenthesis. So let me just save this file now and try running this code once again over here on the terminal. So as you can see, we are getting the error player1.fullname is not a function. That's because this particular function is not belonging to this player object this time. So guys, what we have to do in order to inherit this particular method inside the player function, so simply we can set the prototype by using the object over here followed by dot, and then we have the set prototype of, and then the first parameter will be taken as the prototype of the player. So guys, over here simply we will say player followed by dot, and then we have the prototype followed by comma, and then the second parameter will be the prototype of the source object constructor over here, which is person in this case. So guys, simply we will provide the person followed by dot and then prototype over here. In order to confirm what exactly is happening in this case, simply we will provide the console.log statement over here, and then we will provide the object followed by dot, and simply we will get the prototype of the player. So guys, over here we have the player followed by dot, and then we have the prototype, and then the same line of code we will execute after this set prototype of method. So guys, over here first of all we are printing the prototype of the player, and then we are assigning the prototype of person to the prototype of the player, and then again we are checking what will be the latest prototype of this particular player object. So let me just save this file now and try running this code once again over here on the terminal. So as you can see, initially the prototype of the player object was null over here, but next time the prototype of the player object is full name over here after assigning the prototype of the person object to the player object. And now again, if we uncomment this line of code in order to execute the full name over here by using the player object, we should be able to get the results. So guys, let me just save this file now and try running this code once again over here on the terminal. So as you can see, John Doe is the full name is getting printed over here. So basically the first name and last name is getting passed to the full name method, which is belonging to the person object, and basically this particular string is getting returned over here by using those parameters, that is first name and last name. So guys, in this way you can easily set the prototype of one object to another object by using this set prototype of method over here. So always remember, whatever object that you are working with, it is having its own prototype, which is another object, in which case you can add more methods and properties to those prototypes. And then guys, it is very important to note that you should only modify your own prototypes. Never modify the prototypes of the standard JavaScript objects, such as the built-in objects that we already have. So basically we have only modified the prototypes of the custom objects that we have created over here in this particular JavaScript program. So guys, comment in the comment section below whether you have learned something out of this video. Please make sure that you like this video so that it reaches to more people, and subscribe to this channel so that you get the notifications on upcoming videos as well. I'll see you in the next video, in which we are going to talk about call method in JavaScript. So stay tuned.